Ooh, I must be doing something really right. I'm about to say some real true, the truest that you will ever hear is from me. I'm about to tell. I'm about to spill these beans, spill the tea. Here it is. Heterosexuality is evil. It is the ultimate evil. It spreads. They use it to spread evil and sin across the world. When Eve ate of the fruit, she embodied, ingested the 666, the beast, the fallen seed that was went against the El Elyon. Now I do suspect that the Most High, the El Elyon, probably it's metaphoric. It's basically a portal creating fallen seeds and then spreading it across a world for it, or they created the world. So it's I'm not sure. I'm hoping. I'm praying that this being is on my side who and is wanting for extinction for us to return us back to permanent salvation to not spread the evil seeds. But it's hard. It's lazy. It's a lot of information and tell, and they scatter the truth deliberately through the religion and through the way that it operates. All I know is that there is some form of spiritual warfare, and there's evil ones that trying to influence you to enforce and pressure others to conform to what is considered the stereotype or the norm or the default, which in turn is really the soul trap. It's really the bondage that forces others into bondage. Heterosexuality bounds folks into gender roles, gender norms, and bursts others into bondage. It will never be good. That's why those apostles, and that's why Christ and Mary Magdalene and other beings did not plant their seed or birth children. This is why. Because they know what type of world they're living in. What living in was an evil world. Good, but it was evil. If you continue your seed, you are helping evil. You are helping the ones that is imprisoning you and entrapping you in this world. And they try to punish or try to demonize others who does not conform to being a breeder. Because if you're not breeding your seed, you're not breeding evil across the world, you're doing a disservice to evil ones to preserve their life. And if El Elyon is really good, and if they say what is true, too, which is heaven is a prison for those evil beings, then that's why they're trying to make sure and ensure that they force folks to be breeders and to continue planting their seeds and using vessels to reincarnate back into this world, the false light world, false light, because they don't want to go back to being trapped in heaven. They don't see the heaven as a good place. So I've been taunted, thwarted, pressured by this matrix, evil wombs, the Sheol, the Jezebels, Babylon, because I won't conform to planting my seed in an incubator. And some people aren't either, and they're being persecuted because they refuse to continue the demon seed, the fallen seed. That's probably why stuff has been happening where when I was in homogenous union with mates, I've experienced some form of hardship, especially when I lost my place. That's when extreme type of moment because they couldn't stand to see that two men were living a successful, prosperous, happy life. Even if I was alone, I was still prosperous, and they didn't like that. So they deliberately chipped away my help, lost my job over something stupid. Like they diminish your help of you, especially helping yourself, because they're trying to mold you into continuing the evil and continuing the sin, the fallen seeds. So that's what happened with me. I punished because of that. At first I was thinking, what was the other reasons, or I must have learned evil ones as well as good ones because I started incorporating Christ and becoming ambitious, getting all these loans and stuff. But that was part of the trap. They needed me to build up some type of debt so they can give an excuse by common debt to cause the tower moment, and that's what they did. Um, they use all that to enforce. They use whatever it takes. Balance desires. The Old Testament's tactics of using certain scriptures or certain scenarios, like at Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot and the daughters sleeping with their father, just to preserve the bloodline, the line of evil. Then offering the daughters to those men instead of letting the angels or the men doing things with those angels. Then you have Leviticus, you have Romans, lay thou shalt not lay with a man like a woman, blah blah blah. But in a sense, they are more okay with girls being, young as 13, 12, especially if they already had the menstruation, they're considered fertile and they're considered ready. So it doesn't even matter what age they are, as long as they're already grown. So they coerce and manipulate these girls to seek out these men or women or grown people because they think they want it to be natural. They want to naturalize it, but it's a way of keeping men invested in the soul trap and keep planting his seeds in her to preserve evil and sin. So the ultimate, like I said, the Jezebels, the evil use women. They use men to preserve the evil, but they use women a lot more. Even in our patriarchy system, even though they try to go up in the disguise that women are being oppressed, it's still a benefactor in the end to them because they're the ones that the womb of portal was the one that started this evil, that started this matrix, this fabrication. So you're slick feeding into her the matrix, the lie of this evil world, even when you think you're the one in control or doing it. You're investing all your time, your money, and your resources. And that's why they call her a man eater, because that's what she do. She drain to you. There's nothing left for you. It's like the Sheol grave. Like, it would drain you. And that's what most of these women have done to men. Like, all these different stories you heard. P. Diddy, the Epstein files, all these different things. R. Kelly. What do they all end up with? The man with the short end of the stick. He's in jail, incarcerated. They fulfill his fantasies, give him all that hype. The Satan promise him all these treasures in the world. They obtain it, and then they lose it all. He takes it from them because he have been drawn in by the woman and what she offers and what Satan offers through her, and that is to all kind of fulfilling fantasies, whether it's pedophilia, drugs, sexcapades, food, all the pleasures. It's all done to trap the man and to drain him dry, to use him and then toss him away like a tool. That's what he's designed to be to them. You think Genesis was about her supporting him? No, it reversed. The moment she ate of that fruit first, it shifted. You shift and he became the servant. And that's what has been going on ever since. He's fighting to protect the evil seeds. He's expected to take care of the home, the children, whatever. All leeches, they leech you for life until you're dead. And that's what heterosexuality does. It leeches you till you're dead. It's a dead sexuality. The Elion, the Most High, or whoever created something, tried to warn them ahead of time before they ate of the fruit, because they knew if they ate of the fruit, everything would twist and it would be evil. When Adam and Eve was hopefully intentionally created to have dominion to return all those evil beings back to their prisons or back to heaven, basically. Just return all those back to the paradise, because they're evil. But I don't know for sure, because at this point it's like, just your evil babies. Are you really trying to stop your evil babies at this point, or are you trying to collect them and bring them back? By the way, are you the one bounding them? Are you the one forcing and trying to incorporate heterosexuality to keep your evil seeds going? So how are you going to bound the evil ones when you gave them the sentence to be fruitful and multiply? So it's kind of conflicting, and that's why I'm saying that regardless, you look at the ones who are fighting to end birthing, to not bringing anyone into this world, and that is the canon doctrine or in uncanon, whatever, all this that work together, including myself, and that is to not to enforce or encourage heterosexuality, to not encourage birthing others into existence, because that keeps the sin, the evil, the suffering going. The human race continues sin and evil and suffering, long suffering, all the wrongs of this world. The problem is heterosexuality. It's not homosexuality. It's not celibacy. It's not abstinence. It's not any of that stuff. It's when you mix the opposite genders and make babies accidentally or deliberately. That's when the problem ensues. Not saying that just with the union in itself, if you also contributing to the fight to not birth others into suffering and abuse and exploitation, manipulation, whatever have you, that this world is you experience or witness, it's bad when it's you birthing others. So if you're going to still do it, just don't birth anyone else. But there's always going to be a risk or a trap, or it's a manipulative tactic, because yeah, she or he may express that I don't want to have children, I don't want to ever have children, I want to be anti-natalist or whatever. But then later on, it can happen accidentally. So that's why I always talk against heterosexuality and birthing others into existence, no procreation, because it is the weapon that is used by the evil ones to keep this evil going. So don't get it twisted. Just because you think you in control, or the man think he's the one leading, does not mean that he's the beneficiary or reaping most of the reward, because he's not. Ever. If you look at it, if you digest it, he's the one being drained. He is a resource that is being drained. He is a slave to a woman. That's why heterosexuality is wrong. He is a slave even when he don't realize it. All she got to do is cater to his ego and feeling that he's needed, or giving him the sense of a purpose, and he'll fall for it. He's dumb enough to fall for his ego, and she's just draining him dry. This world is not a good place for people, because there is famine and poverty and working class slaves, and there's people who have money or whatever. But I digress. This is particularly a call to action and to stop what is continuing the suffering, and that is heterosexuality. It will always be the problem. It must always be evil. I'm sorry. But you have the ability to use your sovereign right and your abilities in this flesh, in this world, to discontinue birthing, to discontinue the pain, the agony of being in this world, by not birthing, by being that example, by being gay, by being celibate. That's why they try to use things to deter you from it, because that's the actual ticket and answer out of this world forever. Not going to the false light, not birthing, not continuing the suffering. masturbating. Do what you gotta do. Self-sufficiency if you got to. Just don't be straight. That's is what keeps us all in bondage in this realm. And you wonder, you cry to a God to save you. You cry to beings to save you, but you keep birthing others into a realm when death takes them away. The death is freeing the spirit, but it's your damn birthing that brings them back into bondage. This is a prison world for the evil ones, if best. They try to make it look like it's an entrapment for them, and in probably parts it is, but it's also a place of suffering for the ones who are not receiving the benefit of the vessel of the flesh. So what you think you need to be doing? You shouldn't be birthing. You should stop it. And let those evil ones, if this is an entrapment for them, let them wallow in their own sorrow by themselves. If this is a world for evil ones, leave the evil ones in the evil world. And let the sin, the demon seed die out. Because apparently they need us to spread the evil seed to continue the evil world. Why else are they so determined to create so many copies, so many vessels, so many people, so many species? Well, human races, different races, and all that stuff. Because if they were capable of doing it, they would just keep it within themselves. The best you get is to not birth anyone into this world. Heterosexuality is evil. I know they want to say sexuality is still a form of the flesh. Enjoying can be evil. But if you're going to do the sin, like I said, if you're going to operate in your vessel, you might as well operate where it's not benefiting or spreading the evil and sin. They're only saying this because they're out of spite, because they're mad, because people would not participate in spreading this sin and evil across the world anymore. No birthing, no hetero. Go extinct to permanent salvation, permanent peace. Peace. Go to sleep, you evil spirits. Go to sleep eternally. Go to sleep. Evil procreation spirits. Go to sleep.